Hey everybody, Karen Roby and Ed Bot here for ZDNet, talking about Microsoft Teams. Of course, this is a platform that a lot of people are looking to now as we are trying to find ways to stay connected in this very weird time that we're in. Very difficult time, I will add too, Ed. Businesses scrambling, we all are, to try to get things, to find a new norm for right now. So I think Microsoft Teams, again, is something a lot of people are looking to. Why don't we just start with what it is, and then we'll kind of go from there about how you can use it.
Sure. Karen, this is Microsoft Teams is a way to literally get everyone on the same page in your organization. And historically, people think of Microsoft Teams as something that is only for big companies. You got to have thousands of employees and a full-time IT department that puts everything together, and it's got SharePoint and Exchange and all these intimidating technologies. And Microsoft Teams does indeed work in that big managed environment, but it also works in very small organizations as well. And it has a group of features in it. And the thing I like about it is that instead of doing this mix and match thing, where you've got chat from this thing like Slack, and you've got your video conferencing with something like Zoom, and you're doing your collaboration on some other platform, maybe Dropbox or whatever. This pulls everything together. And if you're already accustomed to using Microsoft Office, this pulls things together. It has chat, which can be text with emojis and memes and GIFs and all that stuff if you want. So it can be a lot of fun, but it can also be business-like. You can add video and audio conferencing and calling to it. You can have meetings with up to, I think, hundreds of people, 250 people in a meeting. You can do a presentation with up to 10,000 people. You can share files using OneDrive for Business and SharePoint, but it's all hidden in an app. You can share your screen with somebody else on your team so that you can either do remote support, or you can collaborate on something by literally typing on the same page. And it's extensible, so it ties into a lot of other products, things like Adobe Cloud products, Dropbox and Google Drive, and just hundreds of third-party apps that integrate into it, so that whatever you're already using can just slide right into your Teams environment.
All right, Ed. So that sounds really great, actually, and a nice thing for companies to use, again, to stay connected, do what they need to do. But I do believe I've heard it's free. Is that correct?
It is, and I know your next question is probably, is there a catch?
Exactly. Yes.
And there's not. So the thing is, we talk about your organization, and the interesting thing here is, when you think of an organization, most of us think of either the company that we work for or the company that we own. But you can create your own organization using what Microsoft calls the freemium version of Microsoft Teams. You basically create your own organization, and you can invite anyone you want to it, and it just becomes basically your little ad hoc company. No incorporation required. You don't have to pay income taxes on it or anything. And the way that works is, I have a link in the article. You go there and you sign up for this with your email address. You get a confirmation email back from Microsoft, and you type in the code that they sent you, and they set you up with your own personal organization. Now, you don't need a Microsoft account for this. Like so many other things that Microsoft has, you have to use a Microsoft account. But this one, just to test it out, I took my Google G Suite account and I created my own Microsoft Teams organization for it. And then I invited another user, which was me, on my personal Gmail account. So I've got my own little organization there with the two of us. We didn't have to create any Microsoft account. We used our two Google accounts there. And we've got 10 gigabytes of shared document storage and all of the features that I talked about before, plus a couple gigabytes of private storage each. And we could even add our Google Drive storage directly into Microsoft Teams. And all I need to do now is add a few more a few more friends and coworkers to, to make my organization complete.
So is there a magic number? I mean, how many can you have on your team?
Well, on this free team, there is a limit, and the limit is 500,000 users. So if you say that's true. I looked at it. I had the same reaction. I looked at it, but yeah, you can add up to 500,000 users. So you might have to get busy making some online friends to really fill up that organization. But no, and it's very effective, and it works just like the big corporate version, with the exception that the management tools are extremely simplified. You don't have a lot of control over it. You can't apply policies to it. It's basically designed for a group of freelance workers or independent business owners, or even family and friends to work together on.
And what about, Ed, when we talk about, businesses with using this with, Office 365, how does that work? Is it still free?
Yeah, so this is one of the things I started with first, and I have an Office 365 Business Premium account. Okay, so that gives me, the Exchange Online email and the SharePoint stuff and everything. It costs, I think, $150 a year. Really great product. But if I want to add other members of my team to my private domain there, I've got to pay $150 each for them. Now, if I owned a business and I had 5 or 6 employees, and each one of us had one of those licenses, we would all automatically just be able to sign into Microsoft Teams, either on the web or in the app, which runs on every platform, by the way, and boom, we'd all be there. But if it's just me, and I have a bunch of other people that I work with, I can go into my Office 365 Admin Center, and I can add new users. Doesn't cost anything. So my domain here is called realworldwindows.com. Okay, so I can go in there and I could add Karen at realworldwindows.com, or my friend Susan at realworldwindows.com. Doesn't cost anything. And when I do that, I can assign you a Teams exploratory license. And I guess exploratory is a fancy way of saying trial. But this trial, normally the trial versions of these products are 15 days or 30 days. This trial is good until January 2021. And you can have up to 100 free licenses that you can add to your single Office 365 account. So it's not costing me a dime extra. And each one of these is a full-fledged Teams member. So we can do all the things that I could do with Teams, and I get the benefit of being able to manage the Teams environment with the full suite of Office 365 tools. So it's really a great thing. It's free either way, whether you want to just set it up for your own personal management, or whether you want to manage it through the official Office 365 formal business tools. But either way, you get everything that's in Microsoft Teams without having to be part of a big organization, and without ever having to call the IT guy.
Oh, we like that. That's for sure. Everybody does. Anytime we can give them a break, that's a big help, Ed. Well, thanks so much for putting this together. I know this is going to be a huge help, this article is, and the steps that you walk people through to give them the options to let them know it's available. It will be a big help, especially at this time, again, as we're all trying to find ways to stay connected and make this all work right now. Again, we appreciate you being with us, and make sure you check out Ed's full article and much, much more on ZDNet. Thanks for watching, everybody.